Greco-Persian Wars. Salamis, the 23rd of September 480 BCE.
After defeating the Greeks on land at Thermopylae, King Xerxes of Persia continued his invasion of Greece. Most of the Greek armies retreated into southern Greece, but their fleets assembled at Salamis, where they decisively defeated a Persian naval attack. After Thermopylae, the Persians advanced their large army toward Athens. Greatly outnumbered, the Greek alliance withdrew its army across the narrow isthmus of Corinth into the Peloponnese and set up defenses there. The people of Athens mostly evacuated their city, which was captured and burned by the Persians, and moved to the island of Salamis in the Bay of Eleusis nearby. Under the leadership of Themistocles, Athens had built up a substantial fleet in the years before the war began. Joined by contingents from some 20 city-states, they had fought the drawn Battle of Artemisium against the Persian fleet at the same time as Thermopylae. The allied fleet then reassembled in the Bay of Salamis, and Themistocles persuaded the leaders of the various contingents to stay and offer battle. According to ancient sources, the Persian force, which included contingents from Phoenicia and Egypt, well as King Xerxes' Greek allies, had 1,200 ships, and the Greek alliance some 370, about half of them Athenia. Modern assessments suggest that the true strengths were about 600 and 200, respectively. Xerxes might have done better to have blockaded the Greeks inside the bay and used the bulk of his fleet to take his army across to the Peloponnese to outflank the Greek defenses and finish the war on land. Instead, he ordered a naval attack and had his throne set up on a hill overlooking the bay so that he could watch the action unfold. All the ships on both sides were powered principally by oars. Most of the crews were oarsmen, but each ship also carried a smaller number of marines, able to lead boarding actions. The most important type of ship was the narrow-beamed and maneuverable trireme, powered by 3 banks of oars. It was fitted with a ram at the bow, which could sink an enemy ship or be used to shear off an enemy vessel's oars, leaving it helpless. As the huge Persian force moved into the confined waters of the bay, its lines became disorganized. Themistocles may have fooled the Persians into attacking at a time when the seas were choppy seas, which would have disrupted their advance. The smaller Greek force had room to maneuver and began a series of well-coordinated ramming and boarding attacks that reduced the Persian formation to chaos and gradually picked off more and more of their ships. Fierce fighting continued throughout the day, but eventually the remainder of the Persian fleet retreated in disorder. With winter approaching and his supply lines now vulnerable to Greek attack, Xerxes decided to return home with much of his army, but he left part of it in northern Greece to continue the war the following year. Salamis marked the turning point in Persian attempts to expand to the west, confirmed when they were defeated at Plataea in 479 BCE. Instead, for the next couple of centuries, Greece would dominate the eastern Mediterranean lands, and with this dominance would come the flowering of the Hellenic civilization, from which much of modern Western culture is ultimately derived.
Losses: Greek 40 ships, Persian 200 ships, human casualties unknown. If you enjoyed this, please follow, like, and leave a comment for more bite-sized history.